It's another Monday, another episode of Rogue Actions, and Heinzie and I are on a 3-week streak of actually getting you guys Rogue Actions on Monday. Heinzie, how you doing today?
Finally, we're getting somewhere, Cubs. Good morning, everyone. And yes, before you look at me, I'm trying to aim for a smarter look. A lot of people will probably agree that that'll never happen, but we'll give it a crack anyway. How are you, brother? How you been, Cubs?
I'm good. I'm confused a little bit by this look here. Like you look intelligent, and that just, I mean, does that that feels like a character contradiction?
Looks can be deceiving, Cubs. Yeah, so guys, as I said before, I said in chat a minute ago, I ain't no spring chicken. Yeah, we thought we'd try them out, and this is the first time I've actually worn them ever on a stream. So we thought we'd give them a crack. They're brand new, feeling pretty good, and I can actually see Cubs, and he looks even sexier now that I can actually see clearly.
That's a real goal. That's a real goal. And a big shout out to today's sponsor for the video, which is Raid Boss. Now, if you guys have not heard of Raid Boss yet, go check out the link in the description below and download this game because you're not going to want to miss an amazing event coming up. I've never seen an event like this before. Now, if you don't know what Raid Boss is, again, this is a MMORPG hero collector where you can take a whole guild worth of characters against bosses, against all sorts of crazy content like dungeons, and even build alliances to do game modes together. You will get, for downloading this game, an amazing profile picture and a title, and some in-game currency, which for Valentine's Day is going to be candy hearts, so you can get awesome resources to jumpstart your game. And you will also get a tank, the character Healers Adjust, which is, I'm being told, one of the best tanks in the game that you're going to want to get as well. So lots of free stuff coming your way for downloading with the link below. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this event. You guys are going to love this. You can vote the week of Valentine's Day on your favorite content creator, including me. And if we win, the devs are going to be giving us a skin in the game that is specifically crafted with our logo. So a Cubs fan Hans skin in the game if we win. Definitely check this out. Go vote for Cubs, and I'll see you guys in there. All right, let's get right into it. We got our meme of the week here, our mini moment, and here we go. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when George Lucas filmed this scene, there's an extended cut where he kept filming. The camera panned to the left, and you can actually see Obi-Wan running away in the buff right there.
Oh, wow.
That actually kind of looks like you running away.
I knew you were going to say that. I was thinking, I'll tell you what, that could be me. It could be a bit there. Just running around Star Destroyer in the nudie. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with doing a nudie run. Okay, let's be honest.
I agree.
There's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned nudie run.
It feels freeing.
If you haven't done one, it's liberating, it's fun, and if you watch me, you're probably still vomiting years ago when I did it. But that's a whole different story.
Hashtag swag a nudie run.
Hashtag Heinzie fans. Anyway, moving right along. Straight up. It's a pretty good one, though. I feel like it.
Oh, man. All right, let's get into our galaxy of bugs. Heinzie, I don't know about you, but I have just been seeing an influx of bug reports coming in. I've been noticing bugs myself in the game. This one in particular, I feel really bad for this guy here. About 50 attempts on the Lord Vader node in Conquest, which was probably the hardest node that we ran into. And he got all the way here, and the game freaking freezes on him. I mean, it's just so frustrating to see all of these bugs hitting the game right now. Now, is this anecdotal? Am I the only one experiencing this, or are you kind of seeing this on your end too?
Funny you mentioned that this week, Cubs. I kid you not. We just had, of course, we've just finished a territory war window. Couple of territory wars we had. I had to go in with a Galactic Legend counter. We had to take down a Galactic Legend with, you have to take a Galactic Legend in against it. Let's be honest. Right. I mean, that's where the game's at right now, right? So go in there. Luckily, I was streaming it at the time just to make sure I was sort of doing the right thing because I was a bit worried about a certain move that I was going to do. And sure enough, bang, game crash.
Oh my God.
And mate, when you take out a Galactic Legend in a territory war, it's pretty rough. It's pretty crap. But probably the thing that honestly is something that peeves me off the most, Cubs, is the lack of detail. There's a little bit of detail missing. There's a feat in the Conquest that we're doing right now, and I know you're talking the review, so I'm not going to go into it too much. Right. But there's a feat where you need Boba Fett and I believe Mandalorian, and it's actually Beskar Mando you need. It doesn't have Beskar written in it. So a lot of people have been using energy in that particular feat, the global feat. It's the event feat. If you have a look here, you can bring it up. If you go
Yeah,
to
and
event,
I'm a little embarrassed about
yeah,
how
no.
underdeveloped my
Mate,
conquest
I
is.
finished. I finished one. I finished one before it as well. Let's see if you've got it here. You might have already knocked it out. If you scroll down, there we go. Win 20 battles with the Mandalorian and Boba Fett. So see the I want my armor one.
Yeah,
That one actually, you should be using Beskar and Boba in that particular mission.
yeah,
Otherwise, it doesn't count. Now,
yeah. That's an issue.
it's it's a lot of energy, mate, and refreshes and stuff. If you
Yeah.
stuff it up, you know how that works. And we'll talk about the Conquest in a minute, but it's just these little things that are pretty frustrating, aren't they? It really is.
Definitely. And before I get, I have to defend because I know I'm going to get comments about how are you only this far in Conquest. I would actually appreciate if the chat and the comment section could cut me a little bit of slack. I had some pretty intense stuff happen in my real life this week. I'm not going to talk about, and I don't need your sympathy. Everything's fine. I just so you guys know, there's a reason for it. So normally I do more. All right. Yeah. So back to the bug discussion. Yeah. And I don't know if that's as much as bug as it is just poor, not thinking out that feat very well. But the game crash, like in Territory Wars, and having the missing buttons, which still happens across the game. I mean, I definitely noticed after they pushed the last update, it seems like their spaghetti code just got a little bit temperamental.
Well, we got the Unity upgrade that was going to get rid of a lot of that problem in theory, right?
Yeah.
And there's still been a lot of teething problems. It's been almost not quite a year. I think it was around July, August. I think they transitioned across last year, if I'm correct. So we're coming up to a year soon. But a lot of the problems we had back then, pre-Unity update, they're still there. And yeah,
wasn't that supposed to fix all of our problems?
Yeah, we've also had COVID in the middle of it. So maybe,
that's fair.
I'm not making excuses for it, but obviously I'm sure that all their main engineers have been probably scattered, everywhere too. That probably hasn't helped the cause. So I will give them a bit of slack on that. But I mean, once we get up and running and everyone kind of back in the office and everything up and running, we certainly need these sorts of things fixed because they're costing wins, they're costing crystals, they're costing, victories.
I think one of the big ones that I take issue with is a match like this right here. This is a report where Grand Arena was lost because of the Razor Crest Immortal bug. And that to me is inexcusable, and there needs to be some kind of way built into the game to make good for that, because that's a massive crystal difference. If it costs you
crystal drop at the top end,
yeah, it's not what it used to be. We're not talking a slight reward change. We're talking massive reward swings, and if it's caused by a bug, then anyway. So it just feels worse than normal right now.
This bug and this loss has cost more than a daily 500 first place arena was previously.
Yeah,
I mean that's a damn lot of crystals, and if you're a free to play player, that hurts, man, like a lot. So it's one of those situations, and I know people keep joking that I talk about free to play not as a free to play player, and that's fine. But I do like to try and see all sides of the fence, and they're certainly ones that are affected the most by this.
All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about Conquest. Now, like I showed earlier, this Conquest took a bit of a break for me. So, Heinze, I might lean on your perspective a bit more.
Yeah,
now, in my experience, though, when I started the first 5 days, I was kind of going all out on the Conquest and then took a back seat. I made a lot of progress on these global feats. I'm realizing it's funny. I was doing the Mandalorian and Boba Fett together, and I'm now realizing that that's why I didn't get any of those. I never checked, and so thanks for pointing that out. I'll remember that for the second one.
You're welcome. Well, hopefully they fix it by the next one. I mean, it's a text fix. Let's be honest.
So that's not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like, I'm sure they can fix that with text. But by and large, I didn't think that the global feats were bad at all. No. I liked a lot of the new data discs they added. I think this Conquest was a step in the right direction.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Better than the ones we've had previously by a long way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I actually have stopped at the one just before the red crate this time around.
Okay.
I get the pass anyway myself. It's something that I want to do. For me, it's just easier and more convenient, and that's my choice. And I don't push it on anyone, but that's just how I play it. But I got the crate just before it. My son had COVID last week, So I really did nothing last week, honestly, with regard to Conquest. So I was also behind the 8 ball. So I pushed to the crate before to make sure that I give myself an opportunity to unlock the red crate, by the time we get to the third one. But yeah, as far as the feats go, I've certainly been able to complete a lot more of them as we progress this time instead of at the end. Because, I mean, I don't know how a lot of other people play it, but I will roll through the Conquest each sector, unlock all the 5 sectors. And then when it comes to feats, I then start at sector 5, which of course you get the most key cards, and then work my way down the feats to the end. That's how I do it. And that certainly has been pretty successful for me. But I've certainly been able to take out a lot more feats this time around, or have a very small amount of work to do after I've completed the sectors to knock out a lot of those. So definitely a step in the right direction, a lot less grindy.
Now, the one thing because of my real life situation, I didn't get to this point, but I know that we've got that there was the Lord Vader node a lot of people talked about. And it seems to be kind of one of the main black eyes on the Conquest potentially for some people. I didn't experience this. What was your perspective on that node, Heinze?
Oh, look, I mean, it's hard for me to comment because, I've got the toys for that. I mean, that's the problem. So I personally, really, really hard for me to comment. I didn't have any issue with it in the end.
What did you use to beat it?
The Lord Vader one. I'm pretty sure I went in with, I'd have to check. I think it was maybe JMK Cat, something along those lines.
JMK Cat, yeah. So what you'd normally...
I went in pretty heavy with it, and you had to. I found the biggest challenge was certainly Sector 5, last battle. That was just gross. You get there in the end, but that was really, really not much fun. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's something to highlight, but by and large, I mean, right now we've got I've got a poll running in the chat right now. We're running at 85% of the respondents here in the Cubs fam felt like Conquest was an improvement.
100%.
86% now. And we got neutral 12% that just felt like it was just, neither an improvement nor...
Keep it at this level of difficulty in the hard mode. If you want to release an extreme mode down the track and do, call it a Kyber mode or whatever the hell you want, doesn't matter, and go to the real grindy one that we had previously, go for it. When it comes to hard mode, don't change the difficulty level that you've just set. This is not Goldilocks, but it's certainly a lot more manageable than the past. Definitely.
Okay. All right, that's going to do it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us for the first half of Rogue Actions, but you're not done. We got another episode here. We got to jump over to Heinze's channel to figure out. We're going to talk about these tank ships coming up, and we got a gear intervention that we need, Heinze, and, of course, the viewer's choice. Thanks so much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, and as always, my brothers, don't forget.
So do I look smart or what?